Isla Isabel is unlike any other place we have sailed to before. It is a rugged wilderness, alone in the churning Pacific Ocean, overflowing with wildlife, intimate and transformative, a place that truly feels like you've stepped into a storybook.
With our first Isabel sunrise came our friend Tim, sailing on his boat Coconut and dropping anchor in the more protected southern Anchorage. Having buddy boated on the 3-day passage from La Paz, we were excited to explore the land together.
In his natural habitat.
Here was fine. Have some fun.
Yeah.
Tim had already been to Isla Isabel a couple of times, and so he acted as our guide, introducing us to the island.
It's just amazing how many frigates there are.
Yeah, this morning at sunrise. Yeah. Like cloud over there, and I'm talking like a couple thousand, like cloud over there.
Yeah.
Since 1980, Isla Isabel has been a protected national park. There are no permanent residents, but in the protected bay on the island, there is a fishing camp where commercial fishermen launch to fish in the offshore waters. The only way to reach this remote island is by boat, and there are regular tours that come to explore the island and dive the surrounding reefs. This cove is where human civilization and the wilderness meet. We were astonished to be so close to these magnificent frigates. In all other places we have traveled, these impressive birds have been extremely shy and wary of our presence. We have rarely come anywhere near them, and typically see just a few soaring far overhead at a time. But this is clearly their domain.
There's a bunch of babies in here.
You see a baby?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the white pup.
Oh, look at that, a baby!
The only permanent structure on the island is this open concrete building, originally built as a research station. Today, it is used as a base to host the local tours that come to camp out and dive on this magical island. With Tim guiding our way, we were led down the park's many trails, weaving through the island's interior under the low canopy, overflowing with nested frigates. All trails lead to the island's shores and dramatic seascapes. And on the eastern side of the island is where you can find the blue-footed boobies, with their colorful feet and piercing eyes, where they like to build their nests by the seashore. Throughout our hike, we couldn't help but laugh out loud at the intense beauty of the island and kept pinching ourselves as if we had walked into a book. And after a long day of exploring the island, we found our way back to our little floating home.
Hey, you!
You sleeping out there?
Come back. You're an adventure kitty.
The next morning, Aaron snuck out of bed to go capture the stunning sunrise. And with the morning light came the whales. These gray whales have traveled all the way from the cold waters of Alaska to come here, to the warm waters of Mexico, where they will birth their calves and breed. These beautiful creatures can be seen on the Pacific coast of Mexico as early as November and will then stay until March. More than 33 species of whales, dolphins, and porpoises have been documented in Mexico's Pacific waters, including the humpback whale, blue whale, and fin whale, some of the world's largest species. The waters around Isla Isabel are a hotspot for gray whales, an excellent place to see them in full abundance, feeding on the rich waters surrounding this tiny island. We were humbled by the overwhelming beauty on this tiny little island and the amount of thriving life that surrounded us. Less than half a mile wide and about a quarter of a mile in length, it's crazy to think that this little island is home to about 42,000 birds, as well as iguanas, snakes, and a number of lizard species.
On the eastern side of the island, many lizards can be found sunbathing on rocks, warming themselves in the early morning sun. These iguanas were extremely cautious. Keeping a wary eye, they would run and hide at my smallest movements, often leaving their tails exposed. While slowly creeping along the shoreline, I was able to capture a couple of decent shots using a telephoto lens.
Tengo más de 30 días andando por el bosque. Tú lo llamas senderismo y para otros es deporte.
The entire interior of the island is overflowing with frigates. These enormous birds have an impressive wingspan of up to 8 feet. The males of this species are easily recognized with their impressive bright red ballooning throats, which they inflate to impress the females. Finding a mate, they will pair up for the season and raise their chicks atop shallow platform nests.
Tengo más de 30 días andando por el bosque. Tú lo llamas senderismo y para otros es deporte. Yo luchando por mi vida.
And in the center of this bird sanctuary is Crater Lake, estimated to have been formed by a crater 3.5 million years ago. This lake is hypersaline, which means the water is saltier than the sea. Only small organisms live in the lake, such as crustaceans and insect larvae. It was amazing to watch as the frigates skimmed the surface of the water to drink from the salty lake.
Una segunda piel recubre todo el cuerpo y empieza a endurecer como cemento.
The ancient volcanic past of this island has left unique rock formations along its shorelines above and below the waters. Formed through volcanic eruptions and thousands of years of tidal erosion, these pocketed rocky shorelines are home to an abundance of sea life, including the colorful Sally Lightfoot crab. While exploring the coastline, we were surprised when this group of iguanas came charging out of the brush towards us. It became apparent that people had been feeding these ones, and as they gathered around, they clearly expected some treats. With nothing to offer them, we continued on down the coast and found the nesting sands of a group of blue-footed boobies. These goofy, waddling males whistle while they strut, showing off their colorful feet to impress the females. The females then waddle and quack in response to couple up with their mate. We watched as the many couples courted, and they began to perform their mating display. This display is called sky pointing, where the male points his head and bill up to the sky while keeping the wings and tail raised. They then dance back and forth, completing their ritual, and begin to build a nest together. The blue-footed booby makes their nests on the ground and typically lay 2 to 3 eggs. It takes 41 to 45 days for the chicks to hatch. Both male and female take turns sitting on the nest, as well as sharing parental responsibilities. The blue feet of the blue-footed booby is from the nutrients of fresh fish and indicates if they are healthy. The more pigmented the blue, the healthier the bird.
With the day on Isla Isabel coming to an end, I hiked back atop the hill with the brown boobies. Watching the sunset behind the island, I was surprised that these birds did not seem to have any problem with me sitting with them in their nesting ground. They inquisitively watched me as I videoed them, allowing me to capture some moments of their curious personalities. With darkness approaching, Allie jumped in the dinghy and began rowing in the twilight to pick me up. The setting sun also brought in the fishermen, cleaning and sorting their catch from a long day spent offshore.
There's a beautiful spot out here. I saw a turtle yesterday. I saw a bunch of big fish, and I heard the whales when I was diving. I don't know what this place is about, but it feels like a storybook.
It's otherworldly, magical.
It's a magic place. So I'm taking the lovely Alexandra out for a nice little swim out here. Let me know if you see any sharks, okay?
The waters around the island contain many species of fish, making for some excellent diving and spearfishing. While under the water, we could often hear the whales singing in the distance. It is a bit faint, but it can be heard in this GoPro's audio recording. Spearfishing on the island was good, and Tim and I spent many days chasing fish and exploring the reefs in his high-powered Zodiac. We caught triggerfish, red snapper, and crevalle jack. Plenty for us to live on during our week on the island. Crevalle jack, red snapper.
It's a green one, right?
No, this is a crevalle jack.
Oh, okay.
The other type are called green jacks.
Oh, okay.
So we got a crevalle jack and a red snapper. Making dinner tonight with Tim from Coconut.
We spent 7 wondrous days on Isla Isabel. Fed with plenty of fish and the island's wild energy, we could have easily stayed longer, but a friend's arrival on mainland Mexico was approaching.
Es de noche y una bestia se aproxima, unos ojos muy enormes que iluminan. Con el miedo todo el cuerpo se me enfría. No eres presa pero no la subestimas. Tengo más de 30 días andando por el bosque. Tú lo llamas senderismo y para otros es deporte. Yo luchando por mi vida.
Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, hit like and subscribe. And if you really appreciate what we're doing, please consider becoming a patron. These videos wouldn't be possible without the support of people like you. See you all next time.